What made you lose respect for someone? Stealing from me. Taking someone else's side against me without checking the facts to the point of buying a 35-year best friendship based on an allegation without any merit but refusing to check that accusation for validity. When I was being assertive against the behavior of a consultant that used to work for me. He was being a shitty person and behaving like asshole. His response was, "Oh, you must be off your meds." I fired him for that. Fuck that guy. Dude always complained about being fired from all his jobs. I wonder why. Sarcasm. I do not give a fuck, the guy was a genius. If you're going to be an asshole, nobody is going to hire you. If I was a mobster, I would have shot him for uttering those words and he'd be dead in a ditch somewhere and nobody would come looking. Those are the words that will get you executed if you work for the wrong people. How badly they treated or thought about people which are not as blessed as they are. My own mother decided to be overtly racist. We got into an argument about BLM and she stands up and yells, "I hate black people." I no longer consider her a good person at all. I can't imagine hating an entire race, yet here we are. He put on a sob story of his mother dying in defense of being racist and sexist to me and my friend. This was someone who I shared living space with a few months ago. They entered a tightly spaced bakery even though two people were inside without masks on. This was after I pointed out that there were a lot of people inside and that a couple of them didn't have masks. Like, why the fuck do you think it's okay to potentially infect me with a deadly virus all because you can't handle your sugar cravings? Easy to say. I ended my cohabitation with that person shortly after that. Watching them go along with the group on an injustice rather than fighting for what was right. Just treating people who are different like they are better than them. Hate when people can't accept others are different. I've always liked my aunt. Most recently I sat with her baby in the living room while she and my mom talked in the kitchen. I was teaching the kid to collect puzzles when I suddenly heard my aunt say, "Today's children have too much freedom. They pick up bad habits and will not get rid of them in the future. It would be better if absolutely all children lived according to the pattern every day until they came of age. When they become adults, then they can have a choice. I'll raise my child properly." Needless to say, I was disappointed in her and worried about her child. Seeing how people treat restaurant staff, for example, clicking their fingers at them, being snotty or rude to them when they're just trying their best, especially when it's busy. They were catfishing someone and when confronted he said, "It's not my fault, they fell for it." When someone started putting their hands on me whenever they got mad. People who cheat instead of just breaking up. Girl basically falsely accused of sexual assault. Found out he defended his pedophile friend over her daughter. When they are a full-grown adult and don't take responsibility. This can take many forms, but the one that really annoys me is when you will raise a valid criticism about their behavior or attitude, and they will completely dodge it and say, "Well, you blah blah blah," in an attempt to label you a hypocrite. There was a Twitch streamer I used to watch who was very entertaining and seemed like a nice guy. Little did I know he was pedo who sent explicit messages to multiple underage girls. Parents who favor one of their children. Girl played drama queen all throughout the last 3 years of high school. This girl looked like a character brought right out of Glee or some HS drama TV series. Everything revolved around her. She took charge of everything without asking. She designed our class's hoodies, and they sucked, and she claimed she knew everyone, which we all knew it was fake and a desperate need for attention. But the worst of all is that this girl was blatantly trying to flirt with a guy in our class who had a girlfriend, also in our class. And this girl and the girlfriend were close friends. Now they are not. This girl would take this guy by the hand at school, go out with him without the girlfriend knowing, and would all around drift his attention to her. The couple eventually broke down after shit became too volatile. I'm still close friends with the ex-GF of this guy, but him and the other girl have parted ways with us and with each other, and she still lives this fake influencer lifestyle that's so artificial and fake. My mother asked me to check on my dad because she hadn't heard from him in a while. She had sent my then 4-year-old down the hall to his room, and said if Grandpa is sleeping, just let him be. I went to his room, less than 100 feet down the hallway, and he had been dead for hours. I lost all respect for her that day. She was too lazy to check on the man she supposedly loved and then had the audacity to act like it was an emergency or that I was lying when I came back down the hall, picked up the phone and called 911. When my dad splurges on himself but gives me barely anything. Edit, Dad bought PS5 along with 3 of his games, but when I asked for one PS5 game says no. Friend joined the military on the very last day they were eligible. Since then, has decided pick up a cocaine habit, go drinking every night, and stop keeping in shape. This happened 1 year after swearing in officially. When my mom and I returned home one evening and found my dad passed out from heroin and Xanax in the bathroom, slumped over the toilet with his whole arm/hand submerged in the toilet bowl water. Sadly not the only time he managed to accomplish this. When they sell themselves out to China. Person at work liked to talk about tech and machines. I like engineering. But then he mentioned those copper-infused gloves. It's like looking up to Neil deGrasse and if he said something dumb. Treating people they perceived as below them rudely. Littering. Being disrespectful, or dismissive of others. Denying COVID-19. Watching my in-laws go down the Fox News/QAnon rabbit hole. And treat my wife like crap because she's not along for the ride. I lost respect for my stepdad because I barely had any for him in the first place. Treating them so terribly. My ex was cheating on me with a guy from her work. That hurt, but the fact that the guy's wife was pregnant and about to have their second baby together made me feel sick. The last time I spoke to her, as we were saying goodbye, she got a text and looked up with glee and said she's had a girl. She was happy fucking this woman's husband. So messed up. December 5/6, 2020, can't remember which day exactly. In an argument with my mom I accidentally let out that my father had touched me inappropriately when I was young. I was planning on telling her once I was moved out of their house. She held me in her arms, both of us crying, telling me she would protect me and call him out for what he did. She didn't and is continuing to protect him. I'm going no contact once I'm out, which should be within the next few weeks. I feel like this fits here but myself. All in all, I crashed my best friend's stream. My dad took me to a light Dave and Buster's, and had a drink, and I was 30, I didn't know what it was at first but asked for a drink cause I was 30 but said I wasn't allowed to, and I knew he was drinking some sort of alcohol. It was dark so I didn't know at first, until I did. BTW, my parents are divorced and it was when I was visiting him. Not like I had much respect for him before that. Also happy cake day. Ex-boyfriend not telling me he was still in a relationship with former ex-girlfriend during the first 2 months in our relationship. After me and him broke up he blamed me because his former ex-girlfriend didn't want to talk to him after she found out we were together. First story. Had a friend, about 17, turns 18 in a year and then graduates. Senior in high school, same as me. Top 2 in our grade, both striving to graduate top of grade. Known each other since 2nd grade, love to debate, play card games, etc. Well, I left for last year to do online schooling given current events. He didn't. He's been going around trash talking me and everyone else in our grade. He quit trying. Apparently didn't realize I'm coming back for senior year. That has me pissed. What tops it off though? He's dating a 7th grader. Some 13-year-old. And he's 18 in 6 months. I have no clue what the fuck he's thinking and I don't want to know. Nobody wants anything to sow with him because, despite all the backlash from everyone he knows, it'll work out fine. 5 years is a lot on the scale of school. It's sickening. Second story. Met a girl online. A sophomore. As stated above, I'm a senior. Well, we hit it off as friends first. After a couple months, we both admitted we had feelings for each other. 2 days later she says it can't work out. I haven't talked to her since, though I've tried, and that was back in March. Said her parents probably wouldn't approve. I was a tad upset to say the least, but I said we could wait, come back in a couple months. Found out in April that she was dating somebody else in our friend group. Started a few weeks since I'd last talked to her. Didn't hear it from her, heard it through a fourth person, a mutual friend, that she'd complained to. I no longer want anything to do with her as a friend or otherwise. Stabbed me in the back and didn't bother to tell me. I'm hurt and no longer have any desire to deal with anyone or anything I'd associated with her.
With